This is Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars with Stephen Fennick and Trevor Long. Thanks to NRMA Insurance and Uniden.
Great to have your company once again on Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars. NRMA Insurance, a help company helping protect what matters most to Australians for over 100 years. NRMA Insurance is one of the largest insurers of electric vehicles in Australia, as we tell you every week. And of course, Uniden smart dash cams. If you have a car, then you should protect it with peace of mind. And that peace of mind comes from knowing what happened at the front and the back of the car, whether it's something silly or something impactful on your life. A dash cam gives you evidence of that. Yes. And whether you upload it to the internet or whether you send it to a friend or whether you send it to your insurer to say, no, trust me.
Yeah.
They ran the red light.
This is my side of the story. Yeah. And with the award-winning Uniden dash cams, and if you want to get rear as well, look for R in the name.
That's
so
right.
It's front and rear.
That's right. Now, a car, I wouldn't put a... we got calls coming up if you want to be on the show, 0477 657 657. But a car I wouldn't put a rear camera in is a convertible MG Cyberster.
Yeah, where do you put it? Yeah.
I guess it could stick on, but I wonder how it would go when the roof, retracted.
Or you put it on the boot or
did
something.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
But look, we drove this a few weeks ago, and this is an impressive car. This is a stupid name.
It was a Cyberster. It was a bit of a mouthful. But
it doesn't make a lot of sense, the name, other than,
Cyber is in futuristic.
Cyber and futuristic, Roadster is in, Tesla Roadster, whatever. But
it's a bit of a callback to the MGS. Remember the famous MGS coupe?
MGS or MGB? I mean, there's a lot of...
it's MGS.
A classic MG, like my uncle has a classic MGB, and, it's a two-seat convertible, classic car.
Yeah.
And so this is a throwback to MG's history without any question. And let me say this.
Yeah.
God, this thing turns heads,
Yes.
Stephen.
Well, I can remember a guy came up to me. I had mine when I was driving it, and the guy stopped me and said, he showed me his MG. So he's got an MG as well, his old convertible. And he was fascinated by this car. And it's not hard to notice because it looks pretty slick. It's a convertible. But then you open the doors. It's the scissor doors that really attract attention as well. And that's a bit of a head turner too. And thankfully, the doors have sensors in them. So whenever they rise up out of the car, there's a sensor both on the side of the door and the top of the door. So in case it doesn't open on another car, but also too, it doesn't hit like a low car park ceiling because that actually extends quite high.
They do go quite high.
It's as tall as me when it opens the door.
I'll say this. It's a beautiful car, turns heads everywhere it goes.
Yeah.
The doors are sick, but they're slow. And I feel like I'd get a bit annoyed by them. Like, I just want to get out of the car. Can you just hurry up?
It's a touch on the smallish side. Like, I'm not a little guy.
No, you're not.
Right? And I fit in it okay. I really had to sit right down in the seat so I could actually see through the windscreen.
I thought you might have been looking up over
without
the
having
roof.
through the bar. Yeah, well, maybe. But it was I could still comfortably drive it. It was still comfortable to drive and fun to drive. Really responsive. Can move a bit too. I think goes 0 to 100 in like 3.4 seconds or something.
This is a very sorted MG. It's been
Yeah.
well refined in terms of its ride. 443 k's of range, so it's super impressive in that sense. There's no issues with range for someone doing this. But it is also over $100,000.
It's an investment, this one. It's also another thing, it's very, very low to the ground. If you're looking for something that, if you've got a bad back and you don't want to be having to sit down too low on the car, this isn't the car for you, okay? This, I'd imagine, is for a younger person who sort of wants to look good driving and enjoy it. The roof comes off pretty quick, less than 15 seconds. You can be, and even up to 30 kilometres an hour.
Up to 30 or 40 k's an hour,
So you can actually, roof comes up and down pretty quick.
It has a very small screen in the middle for like air conditioning and thing, and then there's 3 screens in front of you as a driver. You kind of your
wraps around.
Instrument cluster is actually 3 screens. There's your instrument cluster, and then one that actually becomes CarPlay, which is tiny,
or Android Auto,
and then one on the side that does more of the car functions. But those two are both covered by the wheel.
Yeah, half covered by the wheel.
So it's a bit, the ergonomics of the screens are a bit weird.
The intention was to have one screen and then one you can see through the wheel and then the other one, and they didn't quite nail it. But
no, they did not nail it.
You can still see most of what you needed to see.
I could own this as like my fourth car. Like it's I don't even see this as a weekender. I don't know. You got to have a lot of money. You really got to really want this car. They're bringing out because this this model is kind of overseas. There's multiple models, and this is at the premium end and performance end. I think they're bringing out one slightly lower, but it's not going to be much cheaper. But it'll be sub
Still
100.
convertible, all that.
Yeah, it'll just be sub 100, and it'll do less Ks.
And you're right about people. Well, just the fact that it's convertible, people notice it. But they see a lot of people saw the badge and they go, "Oh wow, MG making." I think it's because it's their 100-year anniversary according to their website here.
The MG brand, yes,
100 years, and that the Roadster was a famous model of the MG, and then the question I got asked more was, well, how much is it? What is it worth? And I said, it's over 100,000. And I said to him, this isn't my car, by the way. I've just borrowed it to write about it. But it was. I remember picking up my mum in this. My mum, and she had a little bit of fun, and I had to sort of coach her how to get in the car. So look, come in, sort of back into it.
You got to kind of come into it sideways.
Because the door's in the way. You got to sort of back into it. Yeah. It was interesting. No, she loved it. She had a lot of fun in this car.
I love the call out to the history of MG, and as I said, the MGB, the MGA, those classic MGs of old that were pure convertible two-seaters. Yeah. This is that, but you got to remember, and look, I respect the fact that the company that bought the MG brand has absolutely nailed it by marketing themselves as MG around the world, especially in Australia where they're doing very well. But it's not a 100-year-old company. It's a 100-year-old badge.
Yeah, the brand is 100 years
and they've been very smart to reintroduce a convertible Roadster like this.
Absolutely. And the colour we got was a bit of a strange one, wasn't it?
I didn't mind it.
It grew on me. It was sort of a beigey colour.
They said to me when I booked it, they said, the red one's not available until XYZ, but on this date that we wanted, the cream one's available. I'm like, oh, that's fine. But I love the maroon red top.
Yep.
And interior.
And that matched the interior, true. Yeah, the interior
I didn't mind it.
Was what Alcantara seats, and it looked pretty plush. But it's only a two-seater, don't forget. So no putting the golf clubs in the back or giving your mates a lift unless you've got one mate that you can fit in the passenger seat.
We're all good.
Or your partner, whatever it is. But it is.
Look,
we had a lot of fun driving it. And one tip: if you're going to drive the convertible with the top down, maybe wear a hat. If it's a sunny day, hat, glasses.
A bit sunburned, did you, mate?
It got a bit burnt in it, yeah.
Okay.
Just a rookie mistake, like you'd want to cover up. Slip, slop, slap.
I wish someone had got photos of Stephen driving that. That would have made my day.
I have got photos of me.
No. Of you driving it.
Driving, okay.
Convertible.
Yeah.
Like it would have looked.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Big head sticking out the top of it.
Like a giraffe driving it, you reckon? Yeah. Not quite. No, like I said, I settled into the seat. I put it as low and as far back as I could go, and I sort of sat down in it. And it was good. Comfortable.
Nice.
Comfortable.
Very nice car. If you're in the market for $100,000 electric car and you've ruled out the Polestar and the Mercedes and the Kia EV9,
Rabbitoh's major sponsors too, MG.
And you're a South fan, get yourself a Cyberster. Nice car. Bit of fun and a real nice addition to the electric car world because there's no other. Frankly,
full EV.
In terms of two-seat sports cars, there aren't many around anymore. There's a couple of Porsches, basically.
Think of another. Is a Porsche
not in electric. There's none. This is the only electric. But even in the world of motoring, this is still a very rare style of car.
My tip: did you drive it in sport mode?
No. Yes. Oh yeah, I did, and it was
sport mode.
Yeah,
that's my tip: drive it in sport mode.
You know what? I think I went to take it, and I went. It's not quite as sporty as it might want to be.
Okay.
I
didn't mind it.
The ride and handling wasn't. Yeah. It was more for a cruise than a
I found
dash.
It, mate, you must have. What do you think? You're Formula One driver or something?
Yeah.
It was pretty nimble. It was nimble enough for me.
Yeah, well, I'm much more nimble than you, my friend. Thank you for listening. Great to have your company. 0477 657 657. Send us a text if you want to get in touch. Now, I want to preface our next call by saying we got a text message from Joan, who's about to join us, and I didn't really understand in full everything she was saying, but I knew it was a plea for help.
Yes.
Oh, Stephen.
And we are in the help. We help people.
I didn't want to muck around, so I didn't even wait until we had Joan on the show.
Okay.
I've already forwarded
You went
her
ahead
message.
okay.
And so what I want to learn from Joan is what was the problem and what happened. Okay, so Joan joins us on the line. G'day, Joan.
Oh, g'day. How are you?
Very
Good,
well. So let's rewind a bit. Why did you get in touch with us? What was happening?
Well, I was because with the Zeekr X, which I purchased in January, I purchased at a price point that was priced at that time, and then they dropped it in April.
Oh, right.
as part of that price drop that I read in the media, they would compensate those owners that purchased at the price with included servicing for the first 3 years. So I was trying to find out from a dealer. I said, is that confirmed? Are we going to get some free servicing? Because that's part of the purchase price.
Right.
So I just couldn't find a contact in Zeekr, and I couldn't get a response. So that's where I reached out to you guys. I said, "Oh, you're in the know. Maybe you can help."
So this is not an uncommon problem in the world of modern cars, especially these new Chinese brands.
Yeah.
The prices, even Tesla, the prices fluctuate so much, and you always worry about people that just took delivery and the price went down. So
Exactly.
in your mind, the price came down, but they had offered, but you couldn't really get validation of that. They had offered some form of essentially compensation through servicing to people like you who had paid that higher premium. Is that right?
Correct. So after I texted you out to someone in Zeekr, and they called me the next day, I was just flabbergasted that I got such a quick response. And to me, he said, "Yes, Zeekr, we're going to honour. We're going to, for the existing owners, provide." I've got the all-wheel drive version.
Yep.
So he said 3 years. Originally, they said 24-month servicing interval, but they said 3 years. They'll make it 12 months, so we get 3 full years free, services as part of that deal. And I said, "Well, that's great. Thanks for confirming." And they said they will send an email out to owners. They've got their database to confirm that, but I still haven't received. Hopefully, it'll be forthcoming.
Well,
so you
I
haven't
might
got the
follow that
email to
part up.
confirm it, but they have verbally agreed that it's happening.
Correct.
You're waiting for
Yeah.
the email.
So what I have to ask,
That's right.
what drew you to the Zeekr X? When did you buy it? Did you say?
Oh, we bought it in January, and last year I just said my next car full EV. I'm not going to entertain going back to the ICE cars. So I did test drive quite a few cars. I mean, I think the list, we did the Kona, the Polestar 2, the EV5, did a BMW, did a couple of the BYDs. So
Wow.
a whole
Not
sort of
bad.
series of test drives, but none of them ticked. Then I said, I think there's this new Zeekr X out there. So of that, and we just loved it.
So what caught your eye?
It ticked all our boxes.
Why did you like this ahead of all those other cars that you drove?
Well, I think for a compact SUV EV, and it ticked in terms of the luxury because it's just really stylish.
It is nice,
It looked different. It didn't look boxy, and it didn't look like a toad. So really happy.
All right. You're obviously a listener of the show. We have you're referring to the Model Y. Good on you.
I just couldn't be happier
Exactly
right now,
right.
Joan. I really couldn't.
Yeah, but I was really. I mean, it's plush inside. It's clean, but it's still got all the functions. It's got the driver instrument panel.
Yep.
Cars don't have, and so when we test drove, it just drove beautifully. This is the one.
We've both driven this car.
We're gonna give our full thoughts on this car next week, and I got to tell you, Joan, preview. We're in agreement.
Yeah. We like this car.
I don't begrudge your purchase at all. You've done very well.
Really good. Yeah.
It's a great little car. And I can see the premium feel. Because I remember saying to Andrew at Zeekr at the Melbourne Motor Show, "Mate, 50 grand, what are you doing? That's a lot of money." He goes, "Mate, we're a premium brand. We are not just an EV car. This is a premium vehicle. You have to drive it." And so I'm okay, mate, whatever.
I've got to say, it does punch above
It really
its weight, for
does,
sure.
yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
And did you say, Joan, you got the dual motor? What? Dual motor version?
The all-wheel drive version. There's only 2 models. It's very simple. There's the 2 models, which is the rear-wheel drive. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just all-wheel drive, and that one packs a punch. If you want to,
It does. Yeah. We gave that a bit of a tickle ourselves when we were driving it for sure.
Well, look, Joan, I will, though, remember hopefully later to follow up, though. I think it's important that you get that email. So if you don't get that email within a few weeks, let us know.
That'd be good, yeah. Oh, I will. I will definitely. Just one thing before you go. When you said about battery life, if you've parked it, because I remember listening to an episode with that. So we went away he packed it in the garage at 80%, and it was 79% when we came back.
For how long? 4 weeks, did you say?
5 weeks. 5 weeks.
And you lost 1%.
We lost 1% because it was, it was just garage, not in the cold or anything, but
Yeah.
I thought I'd mention that.
How
It's
many
very
weeks
good
was
to
that?
know.
4 weeks.
Five weeks, 1%.
5 weeks.
Yeah, I did 6 weeks and lost about 9% for mine.
there
That
you
wasn't
go.
too bad. Yeah.
Zeekr for the win, Joan.
Yeah, boom.
All right. Well, lovely to hear from you. Glad we could help and happy
Enjoy
motoring.
that car, yes.
Thanks very much for your terrific job, guys. You're educational, and I just love your podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. It means a lot, Joan. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Cheers. Oh, look, I mean,
yeah,
that is. We will talk about the Zeekr X next week.
Yes,
because
we've
it's on our list to do that.
her exact car, the all drive.
But spoiler alert, it's a good car.
Yeah, we like it. Yeah.
But yeah, look, I think that's one of the challenges, and we talked about this with BYD when, can I say Scott, had the concerns around the charging cable and stuff.
Yeah.
Look, that you're going to have to accept with a new company that they're not going to be perfect in every way. They're going to have shortcomings in communication and the like, and that's why. Look, I don't have any affiliation with Zeekr at all, but Andrew, I think in marketing, anyway, one of the dudes at Zeekr.
Yeah.
I knew him from when he was at Cherry, which is another Chinese brand, and I think previously he'd been in a tech company. But anyway,
okay.
You know,
do I know him? Do I know him?
I don't think you do. Okay. I don't think you do. But the bottom line is, I want them to get the best opportunity to not have a bad experience with their customers. And Joan was not filthy. She was just unhappy with something.
Well,
such an easy win.
Wouldn't you feel the same way though? You buy something and they drastically reduce the price. You think,
well, I'd feel filthy, but then they offered something and she had no proof of that. So she just wanted proof, which is
fair enough. And,
what she got.
I remember going down to the dealership. They got a dealership in Sydney here in Waterloo, and speaking to the manager of the dealership, Leslie.
Yep.
And I was asking, I said, how are they doing? And he was saying, we sell 1 or 2 a day. So they're moving 30 or 40 a month.
Good little car. All right, Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars. Get in touch if you want to. 0477 657 657. Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars. Great to have your company. And 0477 657 657 is the number to text or WhatsApp, and we'll get you on the show. Lewis sent a text. G'day, Lewis.
G'day, fellas. How you going?
Really, really good, mate. What's happening in your world? You got an EV yet?
Yeah, just bought an EV about a month ago. So, yeah.
What'd you get? What'd you get?
I got a X3.
BMW
X3.
Nice. So this replaces. Amazing. So you're obviously coming from this is your first EV. So you're coming from a petrol car.
Yep.
What?
Yep. Yeah. Two-car family.
First of all, what made you pull the trigger on the EV to begin with? What's got you started on the road there?
Yeah, probably started a couple of years ago. At work, we got pool cars that are EVs, which is probably my first experience with an EV. Okay. So yeah, pool cars went to EV, which is really handy because you just rock up.
All of the pool cars. So they converted the.
Sorry,
fleet.
not all of them.
Oh, just a few.
Not all of them, just a few. Yeah.
And what were they? What sort of cars were they? The pool cars.
The Kia Niro and the Honda Kona at the moment. Yeah.
And so that gave you the first taste of EVs. You thought, you know what, I want this for myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep. Just got that drive experience you always talk about. You know how smooth they are, quiet. Yeah. Particularly with the pool cars, it's so easy because they just sit on the charger, so you rock up fully charged, no visiting the servo before you hand it back to the.
But is that a false positive, a false narrative for you as an owner now, though? Having owned for a month, you've gone from having a car that's just always there and always charged to now having the responsibility of charging. How have you managed that? What have you done for charging?
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky as well at work. They've got some chargers for staff as well, so I can charge at work. Which is handy.
Are you allowed to say where you work? Because it sounds like a bloody good place.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Okay, good call.
Yeah.
But it's a free charging. You're there for free. You got to pay for that.
Free charging at the moment. So I'm not sure how long this will go for, but
yeah, true.
At the moment it's just trying to drive EVs and promote EVs. So
it gives you peace of mind knowing you can charge at work anyway, doesn't it? It's a good thing.
But you're a two-car family. How are you allowed to take the car every day, or does your partner want to drive that? How does that work?
There's usually a bit of a battle there. I usually take the car when it needs a charge. Otherwise, my wife has got a longer commute than me, taking the kids around before and after school, things like that. So she generally takes the car if it doesn't need a charge. So I should have got something with a smaller range that needed more charging. Handy,
so
but anyway.
So you can take it more often. But let me ask you this. Let's get straight to it. The second car, is it any hope of being replaced by an EV, or is it more, it's got to stay iced for a while?
It's probably got to stay iced for a while. It's a Prado, and we've got a Caravan. So, it's going to be a little while to wait.
Oh, so that's your little getaway car. You go out, you take the Caravan out, and
yep.
Okay. So, in the brief time you've had the Beamer, what can you tell us about what you like about it, what you don't like about it so far?
Probably like any EV, just how quiet it is and how smooth it is. You don't need the engine running. Take off. As you're coming up a freeway and you come up a hill or something like that, it just goes, and you don't even know you're accelerating.
Wow.
Yeah, it just quietly gets the job done.
Okay. And what's a negative? What's something, if you could have a magic wand and change it, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one. It's such a great car. I'm not sure, to be honest.
The range.
Can it tow a Caravan?
No.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Well, I guess then
not very far.
You're so in love with it. What drew you to the iX3? What else did you consider?
Yeah, I looked at a few. Like obviously, we've driven the ones at work that I mentioned before, the Kona and the
Kia.
the Nero,
the
Kia. The EV5 is probably a big one that we really liked, and it was mostly around the size of the car, being the SUV shape. There's not a whole lot that are that SUV shape. We've got 3 kids as well, bikes and surfboards and things like that.
Okay.
Need to be able to accommodate in the car. The BMW is just a little bit bigger. I drove it and it's just a drive.
Now you
mentioned that rear-wheel drive.
You mentioned you got your charging situation sorted at work. What's the charging situation at your home? Do you have that set up as well?
No, I don't have anything set up at the moment. We're planning to upgrade our solar sort of in the nearish future when we do some renovations. So I would like to try and hold off till then to get a charger so I can get one that matches the inverter to the solar or battery if we decide to do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Other than that, chargers around town, there's a lot with there's the ones at the uni that I know are free, and there's ones also with the council around that are free as well.
Okay.
There's an NRMA fast charger not too far away, so if I'm not charging at work, I've still got plenty of other options.
And you've got the Caravan and the Prado, but have you taken the BMW on any trips in the short time of because the regional charging and things like that are often a bit of a punish for people? Have you learnt anything that you could share with people?
We've taken to Sydney a couple of times. The range is stated as 450 on the WLTP, 460. So it easily gets to Sydney and back and had 100 Ks left. So that's pretty awesome from my point of view. With the charging, one thing I probably did learn was you can use you can set up the RFID cards. I was able to set up a single card that accesses all the different apps and chargers.
Oh, mate,
I didn't want to.
This is wild because I was going to bring this up this week.
Uh-huh.
So I'll find out from you what you've done. But I joined the Australian EV Association. It's like $25 to join. I joined as a company, so it was like $100 or something, and they sent me a welcome pack and things. But then there was this option to buy these RFID cards, and I did. I got one, so got this RFID card, just a credit card, right? Yep. But it's got this little code on the bottom, and so I opened up the BP app, the ChargeFox app, and the EV app, and you just put in this code, and then you walk up and you just tap this card.
Wow.
So I don't need. So look, I'm okay with
getting it tomorrow.
But think about how many people have rung us and said they were at a charger and there was no mobile service. They were at a charge, whatever the situation was. And now I'm just going to put this card in the Kia that Amanda drives most.
Yep.
And so if there's ever an issue, I'm not there, whatever, I'll say just go to the BP.
So it works with BP. Ampol?
No, it doesn't work with Ampol. Have you worked out anything with Ampol?
I haven't tried Ampol.
I couldn't find anything about a card. But where did you get your card? Because obviously this is really just a code and an RFID. I mean, you could probably create one with that thing that you've got, Stephen. The little, I've got one downstairs.
Yeah.
Where did you get your card from? How did you initiate this process?
So I just use an old Opal card. You just need anything with an RFID. So the Opal cards have that, and you can do I think it's the Evity app's got a scanner built into it for your iPhone. If you're running, I think it's Evity on your iPhone, and you can just go in and go add card, use NFC, so put your Apple card behind your phone and it'll just scan it and get you that code that you're talking about.
Hang on. So are you still using a physical card, or have you been able to program this into your phone on Apple Wallet?
No, you've still got to use a physical card. Your iPhone doesn't.
If that happens, I'm all in. Like that could be crazy. What do you think the name of that app is to scan an RFID?
I just use the Evity app.
Evity.
You go add
ERTY.
Yeah, that's just one of the charging networks.
Oh, so the charging network app, scan the card, that gives you the code, and then you use that code across all the different apps.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Bro, that is unbelievable.
So could we set up one of those little RFID tags as well to do that?
Well, no, because you need a number. So you need there probably is a way. So just so you know, what we're talking about here, Lewis, is we've got an RFID reader and programmer. Yep. So we could duplicate this card, for example, very easily, which is probably the easy. I've got two of them, so I just set up a second one, but. We're just thinking of the easiest way. And, mate, an old Opal card, couldn't you use an existing Opal card as well? It doesn't matter. It's just a code number.
No, it doesn't matter. It's just a code. Yeah. I shouldn't say it's an old Opal card. You could reload it and use it. So, or you could just grab.
Wow.
Very smart.
Just buy one of the other, like an EV card or a ChargeFox card, and just add it to the other apps.
So basically, if you have an EV card or a ChargeFox card, like a lot of cars do, they still do come with a ChargeFox thing. So you just need to scan that card to find the code, and then enter that code into EV, into BP. So have you any other networks I haven't mentioned that you can use it on?
EV, ChargeFox, I think that was it. Evity.
Evity, and where's
BP.
Evity? I've never heard of them.
Although, Lewis, you bought a
Explorer.
BMW. Did they not give you? Don't BMWs come with some charging support there? Don't they have
not the iX3? I don't think.
No. Remember?
No, I think they used to.
No disrespect, Lewis, but I think you need to spend a bit more money to get the free charger.
Well, I got. You know how much I got with Mercedes? 0.
Yeah, well, he's a bit filthy about that too.
Yeah,
mate, that is, mate, you are caller of the week because we've all learnt something new. It's so weird. I was literally going to bring this up,
mate. I'm getting that today.
I've got a spare one. I got 2 of the cards. So
all right, what at the number? You're going to shout?
Each card has a different number on it.
You're going to shout me the petrol, the EV charger?
You have to. It's just a number. It's just the card is just a piece of plastic, with RFID in. You then have to add it to your BP app and your EV app and your ChargeFox app. Okay. So, and here's the thing. Have you tried it with BP? Have you actually physically initiated a charge?
I haven't tried it with BP, but I've tried it with Evity, ChargeFox, and EV.
I've done EV and ChargeFox. I went to BP, I tapped it, and it wouldn't start. But here's the weird thing. I got a text message from BP saying couldn't initiate charge. We need a payment method. I've opened the app. It's got a payment method, so I've just got to go back and test it. But it's either the BP connection isn't working or I just need to reconfigure my app. But anyway, regardless, that'll be an easy fix for someone and somewhere. But great advice for EV owners because, look, I love the apps.
Whatever makes it easier.
But we've either got to get one app or just one card. And the idea of one card, mate, brilliant stuff, Lewis. Thank you, mate. Thanks for sharing. Enjoy your EV journey, my friend.
All right, thank you very much.
No worries, mate. Great to hear from you. Great to have you on the show.
See, mate, every day's a school day.
Every day's a school day.
That's
and I was going to bring that. I had it in my pocket.
Yeah.
I was going to bring it up.
There you go, mate.
That is wild. Good stuff.
Our listeners know more than we do.
Our listeners are our best researchers, as some now disgraced talkback radio hosts used to say. But anyway, moving right along. If you want to be on the show, 0477 657 657. Love hearing your calls here on Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars, and we love the support of NRMA and Uniden as well, NRMA Insurance and Uniden Smart Dash Cams. Great to have their company as always. And yours, 0477 657 657. Mark is on the line. G'day, Mark.
Hello, how are you, gentlemen?
Mate, I think, speaking for us both, we're very well.
Good.
What's happening in your world, mate?
So
you love EVs, you hate EVs. Where are you at, my friend?
Where are you? Yeah.
Okay. Look, we bought a EV back in, took delivery in February.
Okay.
Just gone. An MG ZS EV.
Yeah, nice.
And the Essence model.
Yep.
But I went from being a skeptic in October to going to buying one.
That is a very quick turnaround.
Well, okay. What happened? What happened was it's all good.
Yeah.
Is that a couple of fellows nearby who bought an EV? One bought a Volvo XC30, and another one as a retirement present to him, to himself, bought a BMW i4, which is very nice. And then a mate of mine who lives in East Gippsland, he started to look at them, and I trust his assessment and judgment of things. So that sort of got me thinking, oh, okay, if Paul is doing it, there must be something here. Yeah. And so I thought, oh, maybe surely there's someone doing a podcast on this sort of stuff. So, and I came across you two fellows. Okay. And at the time, so this was about early December, and then we headed off to the Eyre Peninsula for a long holiday. And I thought, oh well, we'll just listen to the podcast as we go along. And it was just so informative, and loved the long discussions. And it was just by chance that we were going down past Whyalla when you you had the caller on the line who was a vet in Whyalla.
Yes,
I
remember that.
With a Tesla. And I thought, wow, and so as I said, just love your long discussions with callers, and it was so informative.
Oh, mate, that means a lot, mate. Really appreciate it.
Oh no, that's a pleasure. And look, I've got to say that my wife was way ahead of me about EVs because she wanted to move from a fossil fuel car to an electric car, and
I'm sure she tells you regularly.
And my skepticism was about range, battery degradation, and fires, charging, cost of running, and I was sort of okay about a hybrid, but Kath wasn't. So and also a mate of mine who was an engineer, he bought a Tesla a few years ago, and his opinion of hybrids was, well, you're actually buying two systems, which can mean double trouble. So and so that's and so we went to so then with my mate who did his who was doing his research, he said that an LFP battery because it's less intense chemistry. He was looking at a portable 32 amp charger, the vehicle to load capacity, and for us, because we live in a city in Melbourne, our criteria was because by then I was on board. So our criteria was, one, the car had to fit in our garage. We live in the city, and our garage has to remain functional for rubbish bins and all sorts of stuff. And because we're both in our 70s, climbing in and out of a low-slung car is, whilst we're healthy, we're not getting younger. We had a budget of up to 50,000, and another issue was the ease of opening and shutting the rear door of the car, and also
really practical demands, basically.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, obviously you sell it on MG. Did you drive any others?
Look, we tried to, and look, the ones that came into our purview, with all of those limitations or requirements, rather, was the BYD Atto, the BYD Dolphin.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
And I was going to say, I bet any money that you were basically narrowed down to BYD versus MG. So, what sold it for you, mate? What sold it for you?
Well, was being able to drive one, because in January in Melbourne you couldn't get a BYD Atto or Dolphin for a drive. So we went to a couple of dealers, and they said, "No, look, we don't have any." I said, "Yeah, but this is a display one. Can't we take that for a drive?" And they said, "No, it's just for looking."
I said, "Have I got 50 grand in my pocket? And you don't want me to drive your car?" Wow. Isn't that remarkable?
And so we were going past an MG dealer, and I just said, "Oh, let's drop in here and have a look." So we took the MG4 out, which was very nice, but was a bit low. And then we went back a few days later and said, "Well, let's try the MG ZS." So I just said to Kath, "Look, you drive first." So she took her for a drive. And that was the end of, and that was that.
I was going to say, you drive first, but if you make a decision, I'll support it.
It seemed you were saying earlier about your wife not wanting to drive a fossil fuel car and wanting to do full EV. Is she sort of one of her motivations? Is it more an environmentally friendly decision? Is that what motivated her?
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is, and that was fine because I'm on board with that, but I was looking at the practicalities of it.
Yep.
And so that's where we went, and we and so we had the dash cams added, but not the Uniden.
Outrageous!
Because it wasn't offered.
Did they do it? Did you do it at the dealership? Did you?
No, yeah, we did all that through the dealership because I thought. Look, let's, it'll be less mucking around.
Yeah,
and
a single point of contact is always an easy way to go. So you've had the car, you picked it up in, I think, February, you said. So March, April, May, you've had it for 3-ish months. What's the view? Still loving it? Any concerns you've stumbled across?
No, not with the car itself. It's, we just love driving it. Kath drives it more than I do, and it's mainly metropolitan driving. So, and it's just a delight to drive. It holds the road well, the comfort. And initially with the charging, we thought, we'll just start with the trickle charger and see how that goes. But after a few weeks, decided to go with get a 32 amp plug-in, and bought a portable charger, and that works well. And the other, so it's look, the software's a little bit clunky. The screen is a bit clunky, the touch screen, but by and large, really. Enjoying it, and because it's so straightforward, it's quiet, and look, the other thing that was important to us was the boot volume with the seats down, because we go camping and need to cut our gear, so the tent and
so
stove
this has
and all.
suited you. You go out camping.
Yes.
You get you where you need to go. No dramas with the charging in the range.
Yeah, look, we had a week in Mount Beauty, which is about 3.5 hours up the Hume Highway to near Bright in northeast Victoria, and so that was fine. The chart, as a mate of mine who's another mate who's got a Volvo EV, who's got a family member in Canberra. He says it's not range anxiety, it's charging anxiety.
That's a very good point. True.
Yeah, that is the issue. And we found, it wasn't a big anxiety, but we need, because our style of driving is to drive for a couple of hours and stop and have a break. So that was fine.
Yeah.
And so we stopped at Euroa on the way up, but 2 out of the 4 chargers were out of action, and are still out of action because I checked again this morning.
Wow.
And while there's inside in the town itself, there's a Tesla charging stations. There's 6 there, but they're for Teslas only.
Yes,
so,
really. And that been opened up.
Yeah, but anyway, we at Euroa, there was someone who said they were going to be finished in 10 minutes. So we just waited and went and got a coffee.
Nice.
then we drove on to Bright, and we had to wait about 15 minutes there for the charge, and then we went on to Mount Beauty to the caravan park.
You sound like you're okay with it, but I still argue that just proves that it's not charging locations we need; it's more plugs at every location. We need that Bright location to have double or triple the numbers. We need more power and more charges to those locations. It's what we need to take away that charging anxiety. I'm going to take that on board, Mark. It's a really good observation. It's not a range anxiety, it's charging anxiety.
But it sounds like the car's delivered for you. You still, it hasn't stopped you from going camping. It hasn't stopped your lifestyle. You're still fit, and you're saving money on petrol, no doubt. Are you happy about that as well?
Very, very happy. And the reason why I'm laughing is that we spent about $66 on charging on our trip to Mount Beauty, and I thought I got a bit narky about it, and so I thought, hang on, and so I thought actually I just better price the petrol because we did over 900 k's in that little trip, and I thought, no, it's well over $200 for fuel, So I settled down.
Well, a great journey you've been on, Mark. That's really honoured to have been a part of that journey. So glad you discovered us and that you were able to get some insights that hopefully fed some of your thinking and decision making. And we really appreciate you sharing it with us, Mark.
Pleasure.
And give our love to
Pleasure,
Kath,
gentlemen.
mate. I mean, come on.
Say hi to
she's
Kath.
the boss.
I'll do that.
She got you over the line, mate, not us. She got you over the line.
She dragged you over the line.
Well, she did.
I've
got to give her credit for that.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
good on you.
mate.
Good to hear from you. Thank you, Mark. What a legend. Great story. And it's just that evolution. It's that journey. And it was a quick journey for him. We've had people on the show that took a year or two to come to that journey. And here he is.
But you know what? He's proven, though, that he admitted he was a skeptic.
Yeah.
But I think knowledge helped him over the line. Like I think it was sort of the myths that held him back. And by the sound of it, we dispelled all those myths for him on our show. And he's a convert.
I really appreciate it. That's good stuff. Well, thank you for getting in touch. And if you, like Mark, want to get in touch and share your EV journey, 0477 657 657. We'll do it all again next week, and we'll also talk to you more about that Zeekr X that we drove next week here on Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars. Stephen, we'll see you then.
See you, buddy.